Okay, so today we are going to be talking about, we're going to be practicing. I thought I would move us to a different subject. Hey, Lisa.
Hey.
I thought I would move us to a different subject. And I wanted to move us to something where we really utilize white. And so calla lilies are really fantastic for that, because you can see here's the color version that we're eventually going to go to. But you can see that although this is a white calla lily, not every bit of it is white, right? There's a fair amount of gray. This is sort of a bluish gray. This is kind of this yellowish greenish gray. This is a kind of light grayish yellow. The lightest parts are here, right? And we use the background to kind of this dark background. There's this other one here, which you guys will have the choice of adding in a little bit later. But really what we're going to be practicing and focusing on in this class is how to use white effectively in watercolor, because in watercolor, white is not painted, right? So, and that's a way of showing dramatic shadows and dramatic lighting. So if we're wanting to get sort of dramatic with our lighting, which I think really helps when you're working on a watercolor subject, we've got to be cognizant you've got to be cognizant of lights and darks. So here's the value study. What happened? Okay. I just got kicked off. Weird. Hold on. Let me pop back up again. I don't know what happened there. So yeah, go ahead and get a piece of watercolor paper, just general watercolor paper. Yeah. Got it. There we go. Oh, nope, you don't like that.
Yeah,
No.
do another bird of paradise.
Whatever you want to do, Diana. I would say whatever is inspiring to you. Maybe you should try a fig.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go back to fig right now.
Okay. Maybe a citrus, you know, like, I don't know, like whatever's in your garden right now that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And as you're going through, Diana, please send it over if you're wanting help. I mean, I was there when Lotto instructed you, so I think I can jump in if you need it, but I think you know.
Maybe
what
I'll do his assignment.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna send you my last. I'm gonna send it to this.
Okay.
So I did that one.
Diana's working with acrylic and a palette knife.
Yeah, I did that one. I did. This is the palette knife ones. And I did that one. And then I did. Is that the one? And then I did that one. Those are the first. They come in the reversed order.
Nice.
How I made them. I think this is the first one.
So I am marking.
So the same flower in different
ways. Yeah, so when you guys get a chance, take a look at the what Diana is like marking there. Sending in. She's working on a very interesting palette knife exercise that she gets with Lotto in the Monday and in the Sunday and the Monday class. So you're going to notice, although I have divided this into 4 quadrants. And by the way, the quadrant kind of extends all the way to here, right? It doesn't stop here. And it doesn't stop here. Quadrant goes all the way to the end. I've divided this into 4 equal quadrants, but I'm not marking it the way I normally do. And that's because we want to be careful with our pencil mark, because we're going to be dealing with so much white. So what I'd like you to do is with a pencil, with your ruler, you're going to find the halfway point. So I'm working with a 9 by 12. So this will be 6. I'm marking 6 here. And 6 down here. By the way, nice to see everybody. It's good to see you guys. I missed you last week.
Good to see you back.
Yes. And I'm finding the halfway point of each edge. So this is 9, so that's 4.5 inches. You can use inches or centimeters. It doesn't really matter. You can see my marks. I'm not going to draw the lines all the way across. I'm just going to mark the corner of each quadrant, and then I'm going to come here, line up my pencil between these two. Wait, I want to do this way. And I want to mark the halfway point so that I have the center, but it's not very dark. Now I know it's a little tricky to see, so I'll take a picture of it. And that's how I'd like you to mark your canvas or mark your paper. Because we're going to be dealing with light and we just don't want to get too dark. And in fact, maybe I wonder. I'm just going to take a picture of this. Mm-hmm. There we go. Give me just a second and I'll go back. I'm going to take a picture. Oh yeah, these are great, Diana. They're looking so cool. They look so great.
They're all different, though.
They're all very different.
Oh, it was really fun exercise. I've never worked with palette knife before.
Not even in art school?
Yeah, but mostly to scrape away things rather than use it to paint.
Oh, it's a great way to paint. Here. So I'm going to rotate this.
But I guess we did, but I guess it didn't appeal to me then as it does now.
And I'm going to mark these. I'm going to mark these in green so you see where my pencil marks are. I don't want to make my pencil marks too strong.
We don't see you.
What you can look on the WhatsApp thread.
Okay, so because you
I
have
use my phone to take pictures, then and edit. Then I'll pop back up. I'll pop back up.
Okay, I get it.
Hold on. You can't really see the marks from here on the screen, even when I'm, let's see here, this way. Even here, it's a little hard to see the screen, so I made those marks. I marked those marks in green so that you guys can see them. That's what I want you to do. So let me know if you're struggling with that. And there are raindrops on this thing. Just ignore them. People have such romantic, they're really annoying. I'm like, I'm not into them. I'm really not into them. So that when you start to sketch, right, like I can come here and kind of see that the flower comes up here. I can come over here and see how far the flower comes up from the center. So when I start to sketch my lines, yeah.
So we're doing this in pencil. We're not doing that thing in ink, are we?
No, I'm just showing you what it looks like. You can't see it otherwise. If I mark it, so yeah, absolutely. And a light pencil, right? So you notice how I'm actually marking kind of where I think this flower starts and ends using this grid. I'm using a grid, just like I always am, but it's more subtle. And I can also tell.
No, Sunny. No. How is Chester doing?
He's good, but he still has separation anxiety. It's really annoying.
Oh,
He freaks out whenever we leave him.
It's early days. He'll be better. They get better every year, you know.
I hope so. He's right here. Chester, they're asking about you. Jump up and say hi. Come here.
yes.
Come
Please.
here.
Me?
Where are you? Is that you?
Chester.
Chester,
Oh, there he is.
say hi. Oh,
Hi,
there you are.
Chester.
There you are.
Hey, Chester.
Oh, how
Oh,
There
wait,
he
wait,
is.
hold on. Let's see him again. Let's see him again. All right.
Chester. Hold
He's
on.
so
He
cute.
moved. He moved. Chester, over here. Come over
Chester,
here.
Chester is a street dog from
A
Central.
Mexican street dog.
So he's still
Oh.
got a lot of
There he
anxiety.
is. There he is.
Hi, honey. Hi.
Buddy, over here. Over here. Hi.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lisa, he's doing
Pretty.
so great. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's so
Over it.
pretty.
how long
He
have you
is-
had him?
Like 8 months.
Oh,
Yeah, you haven't had him long enough to.
Yeah.
So he needs to man up.
Yeah.
No, I get it. He just,
Just
we're
needs-
we're trying to leave him more and more, but he just howls the whole time we're gone. I mean, we have a camera. And
Poor-
he just howls like his life is over and we're never gonna come back.
Yeah, you know, not Sunny doesn't have separation anxiety, but she just lays by the door and she doesn't move from that spot
Hmm.
until I get back. Even if Frank is home, she lays by the door.
Oh my God.
And yeah, and the same in the car. She used to be like that when I left her to go shopping or something, because I tried to take her even though she's not a natural in the car. And now she doesn't. When she can't see me anymore, she stops.
Oh, all right.
And can you guys see this, or should I bring this down a little bit?
Sorry.
I
That's
can
a
see it.
Sorry.
better. Just want to make sure. It's the subtle thing about this, you know, this kind of pencil drawing, right? We want it to be light. I mean, we want it in because it will give structure. And notice I haven't done any of the inside lines. I'm focusing on this outside shape, which is always a good idea when you're starting to draw, because if you start drawing like petals too soon, individual petals, it's guaranteed you'll make them too big. So this is really a strategy to kind of help you locate where things start and stop. Once you've done this, I will give you another color. Let's see. To do the inside lines. Actually, calla lilies are really wonderful because they've got such dramatic structure. So once you finish with those, you'll be able to. And then, well, we'll talk about that later. I don't think we want a pencil mark, but.
That's my howling dog. Let me know if I need to turn off the microphone.
She's all good. She's good. Right, I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea.
You're crazy, Sunny.
So once I've got those outer shapes, I'm going to start dealing with kind of connecting the dots on the inner shapes. Here you might find yourself kind of changing what you've drawn a little bit. That's okay. We just call it adjusting. It's really what's just happening is adjusting. All right.
So we are drawing the inside now.
Now you are, after you draw the outside.
Okay.
You draw the outside first, then you draw the inside. I should probably look at your outside, but I mean, I think you guys get the gist. We can.
That's probably good enough.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll be happy to look. I can help you adjust again, even at this stage. So don't worry about it. The subject is very simple, which you'll find as you start to sketch. So it won't be too hard. Yeah, Calla are really fantastic for this. What a beautiful, such a beautiful flower. All right, I'm gonna go get a tea bag. I'll be right back. Here we are. And I was just telling Diana before you guys got here how much I'm enjoying teaching this version of the watercolor class. It's really a lot of fun. It's kind of relaxed. I love to paint and I love working with acrylic paint and painting, and I like getting into it. But I feel like the watercolor, if it's done right, we do it the right way, can really help us kind of meditate a little bit more, kind of meditative. So I'm going to take this off for just a second, take a picture of it so you guys have it. Let's see. Go onto the WhatsApp thread. I should have done this. Well, there's no way to do it actually before. I'll take a picture of this so you have it. So that. Here is my sketch. I think it's in pretty good shape. Send me your sketches when you're done. Don't worry so much about the background, although if you want to, you're welcome to add that second flower in that's on the top. It's very loose. Here. I'll go back to There we go. So I sent this across the thread as well, just in case it's not easy to see. Oh, dang it, come on. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so if you wanted to, you could. So if you want to, you can add this stuff in. Let's see. All right, I'll take a look at that, Jonathan.
That's just a one calla lily.
The ones, yeah, and we're, like I said, if you want to stick with the one calla lily, that's okay. Oh, I think I can look at this on my computer. Yeah. Let's. It looks good, Jonathan. I think it's a little, it's longer than you've drawn it. Go ahead and extend this out further.
It's funny. It was longer and I shortened it.
Isn't that funny? Extend it out. She's a lady. It's stretching right
Okay.
out to her. The only reason I say that is it's good to pay attention to well, yeah, look at it. She comes all the way, like here's the halfway point. She kind of comes out to the you can stretch her out a little bit this way too. It just has to do with kind of paying, like training your drawing brain, right? To like do things as they are. I mean, I'm not saying your drawing wouldn't look good, but why not draw what we see?
Yeah, I just didn't like it, so I shortened it.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Can we negotiate? Will you bring it out just a little bit? You don't have to bring it out as long as as it is, but bring it out a little bit long. Keep it here, but bring it out a little bit longer on this side. But it doesn't have to be as long. I get it. You know, as well, if you see these leaves in the background, you are welcome to kind of add in some of those delineations. Although you may decide you want to do, and notice I'm kind of outlining everything that's lighter. I mean, this is the great thing about flowers. They really, you can fuck around with them a bit and they still look pretty great, right? As long as you get the basic shape right, you can still get away with a lot. Actually, now that you say that, I'm going to bring mine in a little bit on this side too. See, so there you go. Eventually you just. That's not too bad. Nice. Lisa, how's yours coming along?
I'm sending it right now.
Okay.
It's a little off.
You're getting out of your work brain.
Yeah.
I have paint everywhere, so I can't find anything.
Are you there, Leah, or did you freeze?
Leah froze again.
My work just froze her in place.
Yeah. It's your fault. No, I think she has
I will text
problems
her.
with her internet. She'll be back.
We're frozen on screen, Leah.
Frozen.
Oh yeah, you're the host now, Diana.
Ah,
You're the
oh,
host now.
it will be short-lived. This is so weird to work with palette knife.
You're using only the palette knife?
Yeah. Yes, because I need exercise. But it is fun. It's fun and different.
Do you have that wind up there, Diana? It's really windy down here.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so windy, huh?
yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
I think that's why Rallo has a headache. I have a headache too. I think it's the weird
I
weather.
live in Wind City.
Mm.
Well, Wind City is next to us. Porter Ranch is worse.
Oh wow. Where do you live, Jonathan?
Santa Monica.
He's in the
It's in your former home, Diana.
yeah, it is. It is. I like living there when I lived there.
Yeah.
I would not go back there, but I loved it while I was there. But I think it's changed. It's like I said to Jonathan, when I lived there, it was just too white. There was no diversity whatsoever. How long have you been there, Jonathan?
31 years.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I've seen lots of changes in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I had the rent control, so that was amazing.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
Oh, there's a pup.
Oh, he.
What a cutie. What's the pup's name?
This is Gershwin.
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 Oh, very cute. I bet Gershwin
Okay,
likes living in Santa
now.
Monica.
I think he does.
Yeah. Oh.
He doesn't
what a
look happy
face.
a lot of times.
Yeah. He looks He looks pensive to me.
Yes, he does.
Very cute.
Yes, he's going to be 14.
Wow. That is a good long life.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Okay, Gershwin.
Have you painted Gershwin? Like painted a picture of Gershwin?
I haven't. I did a picture on Adobe Illustrator of him and
cool.
his sister. I made them little cartoon characters, but I haven't really painted him.
Well, Diana painted Chester for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. He came out all right, didn't he?
He did. Great. I'm looking at the painting right now. And he's just laying on the couch, sitting there.
It was
how did you
fun.
get him?
We got him from a group in San Diego called Mutt Scouts that
Oh,
rescues dogs.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they rescue dogs from Mexico and then they adopt them to people in San Diego or LA.
Oh, yeah. I think
Oh.
I follow them. I'm sure I follow like every dog rescue place.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm one
we
of
had
those too, but that's not one I follow because I've not been.
well, I had to unfollow a bunch of them because there's just too many that you want to adopt. But yeah, we lost our dog, our previous dog during the pandemic. He was 15.
Mhm.
So I just started following a bunch of groups on Instagram and saw him on there, and he looks a lot like our previous dog.
Oh,
And
It's easy to fall for that, isn't
I
it?
know it is. It
I
is.
did
And
the
I mean,
same
his
thing.
personality is totally different.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny.
Sunny looks so much like my first really hard dog.
Yeah.
And as puppies, they look just the same. And growing up, they've turned out completely different. It's so funny.
Oh, wow.
So Lucia never grew into her ears and she got really tall. And this,
Yeah.
Hi, sorry about that. My
hey,
wife,
welcome back.
I have no idea what happened. I went to go check my modem. Nothing was wrong.
it's
We
the
knew
wind.
you would come back though.
Yes. Lisa, did you see I sent Jonathan
Yeah.
that drawing? Did you see the sketch, the fixes I sent for you? So Lisa, you've been drawing long enough now. I want you to
Mhm.
pay more attention to how shapes connect to each other.
Okay.
You know how to do this. So I'm going to be pushing you a little bit more because I know you can.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and here we are coming back up with the others.
We got into dog talk while you were away.
Yeah, we were talking about
Jonathan, show
Gershwin.
But
We
Gershwin's
saw-
still
we
on my
met
lap.
Gershwin. We met Gershwin.
I'll have to forward down the thread. He sent pictures. So cute. So cute. All right, here we go. Coming back up again. Goes. Okay. All right. So now that we've got, so before we, come on, don't.
Okay, I'm liking the longer shape now.
See, and part of it is, it's like showing you how far, like you made this one almost as small as this, this a little bit bigger than this one, right? So this shape is defined partly by that shape, right?
Mhm.
All right. So before we get into it, before we look at that, and here I'm going to pop this up so you guys can see it. We'll look at the color in a second. Oh, so for some reason I have you spotlighted, John. Oh, I see, because you had your cutie little doggy up. All right. So before we get into the color version, tell me where is the area of where are the areas of great contrast? Can you define them?
Well, the stem or what is the thing in the middle called? The,
The statement?
yes.
Okay, so that's a pretty big area of great contrast. So that's fairly dark against this light. Yes, where else is another area of good contrast?
Well, the background.
Yeah, that really it's the background and the around the whole flower, right? Pretty much the
Okay.
darkest area. Within the flower, everything down here is darker. And this is kind of, so I'd say this is like a 1, this is a 3, maybe a 3, 3.5, 2.5, 2. And I didn't have you put any pencil lines here. You can see there's also a slight gradation. It becomes a little bit grayer as you move down here. It's easier to see when we go to the color version.
Yeah, yeah.
This little soft like bit of yellow.
Yeah.
So we're going to be defining, starting by mixing our grays. And here, I'm going to just flip this over and use this. I'm going to go up a little bit higher. And I've sent you this picture already, so you guys can pull that up if you want. Here, I'll pull it down. Maybe I want to even go up a little. So you can see, here's my tray of colors.
Are you going to make that big?
Bigger, I can. Oh, did I not make?
No, I mean dominating the screen.
Am I gonna? Aren't I dominating the screen?
Yeah, I see you.
Oh,
I'm spotlighting it. Hold
oh,
on.
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
seeing
remove
that.
it and put it back up again so you can
You
see.
have to go where you see view in the corner.
Oh, I got it now.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, Gershon.
So I am going to right now, because I'm going to be doing some color mixing. We're going to start by mixing some of the grays that are in the shadow of the flower. So this one has a very distinct, cool edge to me. And do you know what I mean by that? It's kind of bluish.
Yes,
Right.
can you give me 30 seconds to get my cup of water that I need to mix? Thank you.
So just intellectually then, as we're talking, this is kind of a very bluish shape. So we're going to practice mixing this gray.
Sunny.
And this is kind of a yellowish gray.
Okay, I'm back.
This is a yellowish gray here. So let's start with mixing the bluish gray. My suggestion, my first step is going to be, here I'm mixing here. Here's my water. I'm going to go just a little bit so you can see everything. Because I'm actually, let me start by actually cleaning my palette from last week's, or from 2 weeks ago's exercise. I'm getting rid of these because these are, sometimes you can use this, but it's always good to kind of start out fresh.
Yeah, I'm cleaning mine. Mine's a mess.
It's like, it's just kind of nice. So I'm just taking a wet paper towel. And since this is kind of a bluish gray, I'm going to start by mixing blue with another color to create gray, right? That's definitely not going to do it. This is ultramarine blue. And that, of course, is totally not going to do it. What do I mix with blue to make it gray? What do I mix?
Orange.
Orange, right. So I could try mixing red, a little red in, and a little yellow.
Sunny.
If I wanted to. And actually, I'm going to give myself a little bit more yellow too. There's more yellow.
You're so noisy, Sunny.
And then I'm gonna check it. Add a little bit more blue to it. Is this giving me what I want? Might be. So that's when I just mix blue, red, and yellow. I'm gonna try ultramarine blue and a little bit of burnt sienna, which can read either as an orange or as a red. It's very versatile.
I find that the burnt sienna really works nicely with the blue.
It really makes a beautiful, it kind of, you can still keep the blue, yes. So you can kind of struggle along. I like it too. I'm with you. And I'm adding just a touch more blue so it looks a little bit more. And then remember, as we start to paint, that's here in this section, we're going to start pretty light. In fact, that's a little too dark. So I'm going to dip my brush in water one more time. I'm going to start pretty light here. My water is kind of beating up a little bit. I can actually dry my brush off, which I'm doing by sort of tapping my paper towel, and then taking this drier brush and kind of pushing it. See that little sort of pile of water I've got? I can kind of push it around to spread it. Because I'm not going to get the level of darkness I want most likely on this first layer. I don't really want to. Also, there's a kind of interesting unevenness. So see how I'm kind of pushing these around?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And is that color anywhere else? I don't really, well, there's a little bit of this color here. Here. And Lisa, if you were still getting your water, this is, we found that ultramarine blue and burnt sienna really worked. Well,
Great. I just found my ultramarine blue.
if you have something that looks too muddy, right, too brown, you want to add more blue to it,
Okay.
right? So test it first before you lay it down there.
Okay.
And I see it, so I see this kind of grayish color in a few places. See if there's anywhere else. Oh, the other grays really have a different, maybe there's a tiny touch. Yeah, I don't know if I want to touch this yet because I feel like this is so subtle. And look at how when we add this one shadow color, how already the thing is starting to pop a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, and the whites really are, what will really happen is when we go in with the background, very dark, that's when we're really going to start to see power. I'm also getting into this. While you guys are working on that, I'm actually playing around with the next color. It's like, wait, actually, I'm kind of excited about it. Finding it exciting. This yellow is a little bit wild. Let me try.
Sorry.
Are you learning interesting things, Diana? Mhm. So your yellow is going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to, the challenge will be not to make it too green. So you're going to be doing a lot of testing as you're mixing, but I'll let you guys get to this first stage and focus on that. And then we'll talk about yellow, this sort of yellowy gray, this warmer, because it's definitely yellow. It's slightly green, but more gray than green. So your challenge will be to kind of pull back the blue. And we always start with like the shadowy parts, right? Well, I mean, we can't paint the white parts really, so we have to start with the shadowy parts, right? Like we always start with the areas that are in shadow. Particularly when we're wanting to show light, when we're wanting to showcase light, and particularly in watercolor. Mine looks fairly solid right now, this thing here, but I know that I'm going to go in with a second layer. Might even do that a little bit now. Mixing more color, right? Because there's some kind of neat dark light variations in here. I mean, I don't want to get too anal about it, but oh, don't do what I just did. I just bled into my white. So I have my blankie, my paper towel, to make sure things don't get really disastrous. So see, I can kind of add another layer that's a little bit like darker in places. So I can get a little bit more of that nuance happening. Too strong. I can take my paper towel and kind of dot it a little bit if I don't want to get too heavy. But I also don't want to get too caught up in that right now. This is going to be tricky and we really need to work on it. You guys send it across when you're ready. And then we'll work on this sort of grayish yellow bit that's down here. Diana, oh, I see Diana's on the phone. Don't even need a second blankie. Hopefully I haven't done too much damage. Let's see. Let's see, Lisa, I'm going to take a look right now.
So we're just sending over the first gray, right?
Yeah, I want to see how I want to make sure we don't get too off the rails, right?
Okay.
Color mixing wise, before we move on to this next one, which is challenging. So Lisa, don't get too dark. You got too dark there, honey.
Okay.
Like pull it, like take a, it looks good, but I want you to take a paper towel and kind of dab this back. It's not quite as dark as you have it. Remember, the darkest part is going to be the outside. Everything else is going to be lighter.
Yeah, mine may be too dark too.
Yeah, so take a little paper towel with a little bit of water. Yeah, a little too dark. And kind of blot it a little bit. See? You know, I'm pulling out some of my color by just blotting out that. Yeah. Yeah, I should have had you do the background first, so you have that as the basis to gauge how dark to make everything else. So this is where you have to be really careful, guys, and particularly on this next step, because it's got to be quite light. It's going to be really, really light. There we go. So I played around with, so if I'm going to make a grayed yellow, what are the colors I'm going to mix? Well, I mean, it's always the same colors. But what are the two colors I'm going to mix?
A grayed yellow.
What's that?
What are we making, a grayed yellow?
Yeah, look at this. This is a grayed yellow.
Oh, I see.
So,
I add a little bit of purple to it.
yep, we're going to add a little bit of purple to it. However, what I'm noticing is it's kind of yellowish, right? Less yellow than it is gray. So the challenge here is that if you have too much blue, it's going to look green, more green, right? So really pull back. So you want to test with a couple yellows. Here's a cadmium yellow. Oh, you can't see that. Here it is. Here's a cadmium yellow. It's quite bright. I'm bringing out some color there. So I've got a little bit of ultramarine blue. I've got a touch of quinacridone red, right? I want a cool purple. If I throw it in here, actually, that's not looking too bad. The color I've mixed is kind of overwhelmed by the yellow. When I so I'm bringing yellow over here into this purple. And can you see how green it is? It's like pretty green. So I want to add a touch more red in here. And I can bring more yellow in. But what I want to do is push it away from the green to kind of more of a yellowish gray. So you can try this, but I'm not convinced this is the best yellow for the job. I'm just testing. So I'm coming over here. I'm testing. It might be, but I'd also like to check gamboge, which is this kind of ochre color down here. I want to see what happens if I mix this color. More of you. I noticed some of this is paint that was from last week or 2 weeks ago. And then as it runs out, I can just kind of refill it in the same container. So let's try this. Let's try, once again, let's see, I'm going to clean up here. Mix a blue with a little bit of Quin red, cool red. Right, and then I'll try gamboge and see if gamboge does something more. And then it might not make a difference. So once again, this is reading kind of green as I mix it. So I'm going to add in a little bit more red and then a little bit more yellow. There's still blue, but it's not the dominant. I don't know. When I test it, I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys decide what you want to do. You might like the Scamboche has a slightly more reddy quality to it, which I kind of like. I think that's what I'm going to use. So you see how I'm kind of testing up here? And then this is very light. This is lighter than this. So it's going to be a super, once you get it, a super light layer at the beginning. You might find you're going to have to mix more of all the colors. Of course, really what's happening here is we're literally just rearranging various amounts of yellow, red, and blue, right? It always comes back to yellow, red, and blue. Every color that we're mixing are these three colors, which is kind of awesome when you think about it. I've gone off the rails here. Gotcha again. So it's very, I have this very, even though it's darker down here, I have this pretty light, lots of water. I'm going to bring it in over here, but I'm probably going to bring a slightly bluish gray on top over here on the right, as I can see a slightly bluish gray. But I can bring this all the way down. And then maybe an even waterier layer, almost. You almost can't even see it in here. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this color, just a tiny bit. And put it in here too. Not too out there. Too much more than that. See how subtly we build these layers? It's kind of fascinating. It's like an exercise in restraint. To me, I don't normally think of painting as a restrained thing, but here we're restraining ourselves. I wonder if I can. I'll take a picture of this. So I don't know. So you guys can see it better. Now we're going to add more layers and more color, more contrast here. But this is kind of how soft and light it starts. There we go. Let's pick out. So take your time with this one. It's a little bit challenging. When's the next gala, you guys?
June 25.
Oh, thank God, you've got a little time. I thought you were gonna say like March.
No, we're in contest mode right now.
Yes.
Sunny, leave me alone. Leave me alone. My dog is so nudgy tonight.
Has she at least stopped going after that thing that's under the couch that she can't get to anymore?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Funny.
But she still gets to it, but she stops when I tell her to stop. But it's super annoying. I have to break that thing up.
Right. I always feel like paintings have an awkward phase. And we're like right in the middle of it right now,
It has an awkward phase.
right? Everything has an awkward phase. So we're kind of, we're having to keep ourselves like, convince ourselves that we're going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
But this is how it's supposed to look. I think that's where people kind of lose it. They lose their minds a little bit because they think it should be different, right? They think it should look better or quicker, but it feels unfinished. But this is how we have to start. It doesn't feel exactly intuitive, although it becomes intuitive after you do it for a while.
Yeah, I'm not so concentrated today because I'm kind of helping a friend to buy a house.
Oh, wow.
Oh, just because they said that about you, Sunny? Stop it.
Oh, she's doing it again?
Yeah. You're crazy. You're crazy.
I think you have it. Go ahead and send it over.
Well, I'll send you where I'm at.
Yeah, send me where you're. I'm going to give you a little license in the next section, which is going to be dealing with we're going to get this yellow bit in, and then we're going to deal with the background. You can make it green, or you can make it any bright, dark color that you want. You can make it blue, you can make it purple. Heck, you can make it bright orange if you want to, although I have a feeling that cool colors will work better. Bright red.
Hey, you're a nudge. Sunny.
I went too dark again.
Take it off.
You know,
Lisa,
it
test.
doesn't look like the photograph.
You want to be careful not to build up too fast. Yeah, too dark, Lisa. Too dark. Way too dark. Pull it back. Pull it back.
Okay.
That's good, Jonathan. This looks good. I know it feels like kind of dull right now. So you can sprinkle just a little bit of that, even more watered down over here.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even do that section.
Yeah, yep. Sort of splash a little bit in because it's subtle, right? It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Look at, let's see. I've been working on the back of this and I might have wrecked it, but if you can look here, you can see it's slightly darker,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
just slightly, not very much. Looking good, you guys.
Here is where I am at now.
Let's see.
This is a larger painting.
Oh, is this a 16 by 20?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, Diana.
Wow.
Oof, oof.
It's
Nice.
so interesting because it looks different than how you normally paint, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
Because
why?
the knife.
Yeah.
She's using a palette knife. She's
Yeah.
not using a brush. Isn't that
Oh,
fantastic?
that's so cool.
I know. It's really amazing. It's the that's coming from Lotto, who was recognizing that Diana kind of needed a new challenge. So he gave her a new tool, right? We also had a fascinating conversation yesterday about like he believes there's like two types of artists. There's like artists who have ideas where the medium is not so important, right? The concept is, and then there are people who really love to paint. Diana and I definitely are in that category of paint is our jam. Like we love to paint almost more than we love the subject, right? Like the subject is kind of, that means that materials wise, if you're wanting to push a painter, you give them a different tool, right? Somebody who's a strict painter, who's just like in it for the painting. It's interesting.
Yep.
It's an interesting idea. Other people who have ideas, you want to push the drawing a little bit more, you know. So then we were talking about famous people. Picasso is an artist, right? Even though he could paint, painting wasn't the end goal for him. But Monet and Matisse, they were painters. Cezanne too, I think. Really, it was kind of about
Yeah.
about the canvas. David Hockney, definitely a aim artist, full on. So it's people who kind of lean towards the line more. So for Diana, he's been pushing her to change her material, since she's a painter, really first, to push it. And I remember I used to work with palette knife when I worked with Lotto. It was helpful, super helpful. All right. So
It's fun. I mean, it's fun because it's completely loose of control.
it is.
Lost of control, but I only have one palette knife, so I'm waiting to get some more in the mail
Right.
with different shapes.
It's a different way of approaching, right? This is the way to change it up for you.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of testing. I just mixed cadmium yellow and a little bit of burnt sienna. And I think I like how that's looking. I'm going to use that here. Right, who is it? Lisa, who is observing that this is a pretty extreme, right? So this is just cadmium yellow and burnt sienna. And then here's where you get to have some fun. You guys are gonna lay in your background, and really all you've got to pay it, and then we'll come back in and start, we'll start, nuancing the layers. But you can pick any color you want. So if you want to, now if you pick green, just plain green, right? Like what's happening here. If I lay a green in like that, it's kind of not very landscapey. So remember, using green,
Sorry.
you're going to be mixing red with your green to really get a kind of dramatic dark green. And I want you, don't start over here, right? We're going to start right up against the subject. So if you're feeling nervous, take your brush with your dark paint and pull back. Line it up with the edge of your flower, pull back. See how I'm doing that? Pull back, pull back. But you don't have to. You could also go, let's see what will make this look really weird. I could also go red. See how I'm pulling back? Huh. Since I'm just gonna be ridiculous here, how about kind of cadmium red? And you guys, I've got to give me just 1 minute. I'll be right back. So anyway, you're gonna start playing with your backgrounds. Hello. Okay, this looks a little ridiculous. I'm gonna see if I can fix it up with more greens and blues. Greens, some red. You can totally follow.
I have like a magenta.
You can do whatever you want, honey. But
Alright.
don't just put magenta, well, try it, but you're probably gonna want to mute it a little bit.
All right, yeah, it
Magenta
looks really awesome, but yeah, it's a bit much.
Well, fuck it. Be a bit
I
nuts.
love magenta.
I don't care.
It's the color of the year. It's the fashion
nice.
color of the year.
Is it?
Yeah, from Pantone, you know, they pick a color of the year every year and the whole fashion industry uses it. Yes.
All
Really?
right.
So you'll see it everywhere. You'll start noticing now.
So I'll start get tired of it,
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly.
but I don't think I can get tired of
I
magenta.
know, it's a happy color.
So see how I'm kind of, I don't know, this might be looking a little ridiculous. I'm not sure. I would recommend going this wholeheartedly. I was just testing different colors to see how they looked. You can use more control than I did. I don't think this actually worked out super well for me.
I think it looks cool.
You like it? All right.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. Okay. All right. You're right. I will not diss it. But
Yeah.
see how as I start to add these in, now I'm just grabbing whatever. I'm not even really thinking. This is how I paint most of the time. It's kind of
Not thinking is the best way of painting.
right, like paint, not second guessing oneself too much.
Yeah.
So now I can come back in and start making, once I get my flower kind of defined. I can come back in and start working. It's weird. Anyway, what I would say is go crazy. Do magenta.
I'm doing it.
Do it. Do the whole fucking thing as magenta. Like, don't make it, as long as it reads as dark, right? Next to this light.
Oh yeah.
I'm
It
having
does.
a real problem where, like, yes, here. So let's. Okay, now you're right. Now it's not starting to look quite so terrible. I was getting a little bit much there, but I'm kind of working around.
Chester, what are you chewing on? Sorry. He's up to something. He's chewing on the blanket on the couch. I'll let that go. Even though I'd rather he didn't.
I'm definitely gonna, at this point, clean my water, which definitely has had a bit too much of everything.
Yeah, I'm lucky there. Sunny is not destructive in that way. She doesn't go on to any pillows or furniture. But Charlie, when he came, he chewed everything.
Oh, no.
He destroyed my glasses,
Oh, oh,
my cell phone.
oh, no.
He chewed my cell phone. He was crazy. that
Yeah, our
way.
previous dog chewed up 2 remotes. That was probably the worst.
Yeah.
Chester chews, he hasn't been as bad. He mostly will go after shoes.
Yeah, Sunny has never gone after shoes until I bought a pair of clogs the other day,
Oh, no.
and they had, I guess it was cowhide on the upper. I didn't
Oh.
realize. I didn't realize I'd bought real fur thing. I wouldn't have bought it if I had known.
Yeah.
And she just went crazy.
Oh, my God. She's like, somebody killed a cow. I'm after it.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was like, you've never done this before. Why now? Oh, Mom, it's fantastic.
Mhm.
You,
I just learned how delicious it is.
you give me treats that taste like that.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping you're having a little fun with this, by the way, as you guys are picking your colors. What I can immediately see is that I need to start layering in more darks down here, right? To really distinguish this. But I needed to get my darks in here to make sure I don't get as dark as this. So I'm paying attention to 2 things. I'm paying attention to how this reads against this and against this light, but also how it reads against this dark. So as I decide on how to kind of push my. Pink, magenta. I just finished painting 2 big ferns, Lisa, that were magenta.
Oh, fun. That sounds awesome.
That was what my friend Jessie wanted. And she was like, she told me I was entering my magenta period.
Yeah.
It's like, you're entering your magenta period now.
You're very fashionable.
Right. Yeah. You didn't even know you're totally on trend.
Well, she was. That's what she wanted.
Maybe I'll wear magenta to our next awards, Diana. That'd be good for summer.
Yeah. I don't know what to. I almost had magenta at the last one, but I don't
Yeah?
have that. I don't have that anymore. Someone
Oh.
stole it.
Oh, so annoying.
Yeah, so annoying. Yeah, someone totally stole stuff from us.
What? How?
Yeah, when we were leaving the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we packed up our stuff in a few cars, and then we had like our storage room open, and someone took a box of trophies. I mean, I guess they didn't know what they stole because they have no use for that. And someone stole my dress.
Oh,
My dress. I had like a couple of dresses, alternative dresses with me in case I didn't like the one I had decided to wear. And they took I had one of those, what do you call it? Like a plastic wardrobe thing with me.
Yeah.
A garment bag. Yeah.
Yeah, garment. Yeah. And someone just stole it. That was annoying.
Very annoying.
The other dress didn't even belong to me, so I had borrowed it
Oh,
No.
great.
just in case.
What do you think, Leah?
Did you send it across?
Yeah.
Let me look.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank you.
Let's see.
I love that.
Let's
There's-
see.
That's a
there's-
really good base. It's
There's
a really good
there's
base.
definitely a contrast
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
You
So
want to
now-
count? Yeah, you want that. You want that.
I'm gonna go even darker on the second layer, but let's go back into the flower. Now we're gonna go back into the flower.
Okay.
And start.
Wait,
putting some of
What
these-
color did Jonathan pick?
Oh, I'm in process now. I kind of went
Okay.
all over. Here, let me show you. I don't know how. It looks like hair to me right now.
It might be the type of brush you're using. So send it over.
Actually, the way it looks right now, it looks like Elvis's hair.
Elvis entered a painting, huh?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Building. As
No, he
always.
didn't leave. He entered.
Enter.
I'm gonna switch out my watercolor water. 1 sec.
Let's do. Oh, that's cool looking. All right, so Jonathan, work around. Yeah. Just go around the whole flower.
Yeah.
And then what we're gonna start doing, well, I'll wait till Lisa gets back and then we'll,
Okay, I'm back.
okay. What we're gonna start doing here is kind of pushing some of these contrast areas. When I say pushing, I mean we're gonna sort of darken, but we want to be careful not to go too dark, right? We want to do this in stages. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more. I'm going to pull in a little gamboge, little blue, little
You
red.
need a lot of paint when you're doing this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when you're doing that, yes. Absolutely. And here, I'm going to start testing out here. That's where I have room to do it. I'm actually going to drift in a little bit of cadmium yellow.
I'm running out of my paint, so I might leave you early. I'm gonna send this along. It's,
Okay.
I think it needs also to be, it also needs to dry out a little bit so I can put in more paint.
So the key here, it's definitely darker towards the base. So I'm going to be, oh, says my battery is running low. Hold on, I'm going to, battery. Oh. Okay.
So this is where I'm at. It's not really true colors, but you get an idea. I'm gonna see if it's better if I take with WhatsApp.
Oh, wow. It looks cool.
It's kind of cool, but no, it's not getting true colors. That was even worse.
Hmm.
But I think it is because it's so much of this medium in it, so it gets very glossy, so you can't see the true
Mhm.
colors.
And is Leah speaking to us? Because I only see one screen.
No, Leah's speaking.
I see her painting with yellow, but I don't hear her telling us what we're supposed to be doing.
No, because I think her phone died. I think her cell phone died.
Phone. I see you painting, but can't hear. Oh, wait, she's back?
She's coming back.
Okay.
Is they're doing some work in my neighborhood. So they're doing more work. But I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. Down here, it's kind of greenish. So I'm actually gonna take some green, pull in some of this yellow, and then add a little bit of red. No, wrong red. Too much red. So I've got this kind of murky green. So this is kind of the yellow, but a little bit that yellowy purple, but a little bit darker. Down below, I kind of spread that down below. Then I add a little bit of green and red into the base. Now my thing is starting to take a little bit more shape. Mixing up here. Again, a bit more of that. This. Hi. So can you guys see? Come on in. Can you guys see here? No, that's okay. And I'm just going to get this to the point where you can do this. See how it gets kind of lighter as it moves up to the top? We're still
Yeah.
getting darker. Yeah. So that's kind of, and notice now the flower is starting to pop a little bit. All right, I'll be right back. Give me just a minute while you
Okay.
do that.
Yep.
Okay. So Lisa is frozen too. No,
Nope, I'm here.
you're just concentrating so much that you don't move.
Well, Leah, you're muted. I don't hear any instruction.
No, she's muted. You're muted, Leah.
Sorry, I was like talking away, like not even paying attention to the fact that I was muted. So what I'm starting to do is really define edges. I'm going to take a little bit of that original blue that I mixed, the gray, which is the burnt sienna and the ultramarine blue. And I'm going to drift that in a kind of light way.
Be-
Here.
Before I leave, can I just hold up this and see if it looks better? No,
Oh,
it doesn't.
wow. It
It
looks
doesn't
great.
look better in this light either.
Hold on, let
Oh,
me,
that's
I can't
spectacular.
I can't get a good light on.
no, that's looking really interesting, Diana. Look at what's happening.
Mm,
Definitely, this is beginning to, I can see this is a whole new era for you. This is modernism.
yeah,
Mm, interesting.
maybe there is a better light.
Fantastic.
It looks good in all light.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
And I think this is, it's just wonderful. It's like totally pushing you towards your, towards, it's your work, but different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
totally
it's-
different.
And I think it's beautiful.
thank you.
I think it's quite exciting. It's like, and it's interesting that you picked the bird of paradise. That's such a structured flower.
Yeah,
Right? It's got so much structure. It's almost weird looking. I mean, this calla lily is a fairly structured flower, but really it's interesting how structured that like design is. And by the way, guys, look at well, anyway, we'll get back to that in a second. I just think it's interesting. It's kind of good for a modernist.
yeah. It's funny because I mean it's pure coincidence because
I
that's
know.
what happened to grow in my garden, and
I
I
know,
needed
but it's
something.
like, but it was totally the right subject
Yeah.
for this particular dealing. It's wonderful, Diana. It's really wonderful. I can't wait to see
Fun.
where you go with this. It's
Yeah.
like really exciting.
But I guess I can't do too many of this sort.
You'll find more stuff.
Yeah.
You'll find more stuff. Maybe cactuses or something. I don't know. Like maybe snake plants. Maybe like
Yeah,
something-
no, it's fun though. I think I want to do a wider one like I talked about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you can do it in palette knife.
Yeah.
I think that'll be really neat. So send that over. Make sure you send that over to the thread on Monday's thread and Sunday's thread so people can see it.
Yeah, but it's not done, but I can do it.
I think you should. I think they're really neat. All right.
I'm gonna leave you guys.
All right.
Okay.
It
Soon.
was fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, likewise.
A lot of fun.
It's always fun hanging out with you.
Yeah.
And Lisa and I are gonna go on a doggy walk one of these days.
Yes,
Oh,
we need to do that.
getting everybody with the program.
Yeah. I
So-
think our doggies can help one another.
Yeah.
I think so too. So guys, if you can look at this, look at how adding this, now that I've got this background and this base to build upon, look at how this is starting to glow. It's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is wet. I want to get darker, but I've got to wait till this dries. I want to get darker down here at the base. So I'm kind of working up around here, adding in little bits of yellow shadow color. I'm going to come in here with little tiny bits of yellow and green. And I may actually also, ultimately I may end with gouache. I want to go back in here and add some of the dark blues in the darker colors. Right, some of these darker colors that are in here, which may resonate a little bit more with the values of my background and are starting to like make this kind of read a little bit. And then I feel like the question is, I'm going to try a very light, almost so you can't see it, tiny edge here of yellow. Just to kind of push, it'll read like a shadow. Just to kind of push this leaf forward. I haven't put anything here, here, or here. That's just white. Look at what that does. It's crazy. I'm going to layer in a little bit more yellow, kind of on top of this. And now I'm using a technique called dry brush, where I'm just taking watercolor without a wet brush. I mean, my brush is wet from all the other work I've done, but you see how it's kind of layering a little bit. This is what I like about working with tube paint. I can scoop up. I can like kind of just scoop up tube paint with a fairly dry brush and kind of layer a little bit stronger. All of these things that I'm doing are starting to kind of create a beautiful back and forth. Whereas before, I would say it was looking pretty flat. I would say secretly, I was kind of like, how am I going to get this to do what I want it to do? Please, at that layer. So I'm coming back in here and I'm wanting to add dark. This dark is closer to the dark that's in the background, but it's still a slightly bit lighter. I want to be careful to make sure I have a soft edge, kind of using my finger. See how all these things kind of begin, and now I'm going to look a little bit more closely. And now I'm wanting a little bit more coolness in my background. So I might actually go back in a few places. And push the darks. Even more. Because the more I do that, I'm using a cool blue phthalo, which I think is helping to sort of warm up this grayish white calla lily. Yeah, now we're starting to get somewhere in my mind. I'm really just working these edges. And I've just darkened the bottom, and look at how nicely that's starting to play with the fact that I have a little bit more detail going on here in my flower. Yeah, I like that. I got a little bit darker, which helped me kind of around the edges. It's kind of pretty. And look at how much I didn't paint. So I'm going to send a picture of this because I feel like it would be a good thing to look at kind of close up. Honestly, this is so relaxing. I thought we were going to get to the other landscape today, but we'll do that next week. Or maybe another flat. I don't know. We'll do something. No. Sure. I'm going to send this across the thread so you can kind of see it. Now it's starting to have a little bit of magic though. And it's okay if this does not turn out the way you like it. This is a practice, right?
Well, this is our first time.
Yeah, it's a practice, right? It's super practice. So be okay with like, yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. I'm just like, don't be hard on yourself if it's not exactly the way you want it. That's exactly right, Jonathan. That's how you gotta be. How we want to be.
It's like a miracle that it's even like close, you know?
Yeah. There you go. Pretty amazing. I know. I find it really fascinating too. I'm myself, I'm loving this part on mine. I feel like this, I could probably, I'm trying to kind of soften the edges here a little bit because I feel like with water, they feel like they're a little too strong. And I want to lightly, just lightly. I want to get too crazy, but I do want to kind of push this. What you'll find yourself doing is returning again and again to edges.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, you're like, okay, if it's bothering me, why is it bothering me? Well, it's probably, I got a little bit of yellow in here. I'm not really happy about that. That may not be fixable. Yeah, we'll never, we'll see. Right? What? Oops, sorry. Wait, play one for a minute. I'm gonna actually pull off the phone because I want you guys now, unless you really desperately, but I've sent you a picture of it so you can look at it if you want.
Can we just hold ours up?
Oh, Lisa, that's starting to look lovely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, it's getting there.
I love We're going into gallery. Just work on it a little bit longer.
Okay. Ah,
And I'm gonna have to jet out in about
Okay.
5 minutes. So,
Here's mine.
oh my God, I love it.
yes.
That is so cool. I love
You
the
know, it looks
background.
it looks better on
Wow.
camera than it does live, though.
Yeah,
Mine does too.
mine does too. I won't let here. Let's put them all up.
Wait, I'm messing with mine. Hold on. Hold on, I'm fixing an edge. Hold on.
That's it. Oh, these are so fucking fun.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, they're beautiful. We're gonna do a little bit more work with flowers and white flowers. I
Okay.
think, or
Yeah.
with strong whiter.
I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, it's really God, you guys, great. This is what I'm finding about this class and this subject and this subject matter. It's relaxing in a way that nothing else. It's meditative in a way that I find all painting meditative, but this is meditative in a spare sort of way that I'm really enjoying. I like it. Less is more, right?
Yeah.
Like, less is more.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we did it.
We did it.
I think we did it. I'll see you next week, and we'll.
All
keep
right. Thank
working
you,
on this.
Leah.
Thank you, Leah.
It was
Bye,
fabulous.
Jonathan. Good to see you.
Good to see
Yeah.
you.
Ciao. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry about all the interruptions. It was ridiculous tonight.
No
Oh
problem.
no, we were
Alright.
just painting.
Good.
Right.
All right. Thank you guys. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.